Spooky Halloween, boys and ghouls. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that I've just completely forgotten how to talk into a microphone about the video game, so for a little help, I'm just gonna go ahead and consult my notes here. Damn it! All they say is howdy, y'all. Well, howdy, y'all. My name's Reverend, and this is a team that was posted in the team building workshop thread on Smoggin by somebody. Absolutely should have checked what their name was before I started recording this video, Morty, but I forgot to do that. And the fucking point of the story is, in honor of All Hallows Eve, it is an offensive ghost spam core, which incorporates Mega Banette, which is, of course, only the spookiest Pokemon in the game. And once you build a hyper offense team, or have a hyper offense core, you might as well go ahead and add Klefki to it, because it's more or less mandatory on HO teams, or if not mandatory, there's really no reason not to use it, because its roll compression is so fantastic. Like, it switches into fairy types, it switches into Latios, it gives you speed control with Thunder Wave, gives you hazards with spikes, and it also has Magnet Rise to troll Landos and Garchomps, and you actually have a lot of choices for the attack you want to use. This one uses Dazzling Gleam just for Mega Sableye. It doesn't do as much to Mega Sableye as you would want it to, but it does enough to pressure it into recovering after it switches in, which makes the Sableye switch less free because you have a lot more options of what you want to switch in to deal with it. Since Gengar and Banette both block Rapid Spin, and Klefki provides spikes, Bisharp shows up as a way to absorb defogs and go ahead and get some Defiant sweeps rolling out. Keldeo switches into Weavile and other Bisharps, and since it is Choice Scarf, it also deals with Mega Lopunny. And Lando T shows up instead of Garchomp because it provides a ground immunity that's not Gengar, and it also fulfills all the requisite roles of a bulky ground type. It switches into Brave Birds and Lopunnies, and it also has U-Turn, which is just fantastic. And looking at this dude's team, I thought that he was going to lead with a Skarmory, because this looks like a hella offensive team, and I thought it was going to be like Kustop leads Skarmory, so I do lead off with Living Dead Girl, trying to taunt it before it does anything cute. But he does lead with his Lopunny, so that doesn't really matter too much. I can just go ahead and go out into Dick Nose to take the Fake Out, and I go ahead and switch into Ultima weapon here, just in case he wants to go for an Ice Punch, but he does go out into a Skarmory. Not in too great of a position there, but I can try to go ahead and force him into defogging. He brings out his Volcarona, and I shit the bed harder than is even imaginable, because I was like, okay, if he's Lumberry, I don't want to Thunder Wave. If he's Pasho Berry, I don't want to go into Eddie Murphy, because then he's just going to like Giga Drain me and be at full health. So I do something that like fixes neither of those problems. I go into Dick Nose, because I was like, well, maybe I can bluff Choice Scarf. That wouldn't have worked for two different reasons. One, he already knew I was Rocky Helmet, and two, I wouldn't have been faster anyway if he had Quiver Dance, but somehow the stars align, and I emerge from that at not too great of a deficit. Go ahead and Magnet Rise on his Lando T, but since everyone knows Klefki does that now, he just U-turns out and kills me with a Fire Blast, which was actually much better than if he had tried to set up with a Quiver Dance. And go ahead and Sludge Wave, because I didn't want him to bring his Lopunny in for free, and go ahead and snipe that. Taunt his Skarmory before it can defog away the spikes and go out into Dick Nose. What I wanted to happen was that Dick Nose die from these Iron Heads so that I can bring something out on the turn that the taunt goes away. I am unfortunately going to survive them, but here I realize if I get a Defiant boost, I can pretty much sweep his entire fucking team. So I go out into Jet Jaguar, take the defog, get the +2 attack, but unfortunately for me, since I'm not knockoff or since I'm not Black Glasses or Life Orb, the knockoff isn't going to kill it, so he is just going to Whirlwind me out into Eddie Murphy, which was also like the worst possible thing I could have been Whirlwinded out into, because Latios is going to get the freest switch in the world and go ahead and roost while I go out into Dick Nose, trying to sack him off since my Klefki is dead at this point. And now both my hazard users are dead, and he doesn't have hazards on his field, which is really bad, but I can go ahead and bring out Jet Jaguar, go for the knockoff. The Lumberry is going to save me from the Flame Body Burn, but I am just going to go ahead and get burned again from the Sucker Punch, because Jet Jaguar is not trying at all to earn Daddy's love right now. And even though I get the Defiant from this Lando T, obviously not going to be accomplishing too much with the burn, so just go out into Living Dead Girl, because I know that he's probably not going to want to go for a knockoff, but that doesn't even really help me anyway because he's got his Skarmory to come in on the Shadow Ball. And the Raikou comes out, puckers his little cloud butthole just enough to take under half from this fucking Life Orb Sludge Wave. Like, whenever I use Raikou, it's the most worthless Shittermon on the planet, but when someone else uses it, it always tanks the craziest moves that I wouldn't expect it to live, like, ever. But I am going to go ahead and knock off, because that's going to annoy anything he wants to bring in. Get my free switch into Eddie Murphy, because he's still at full health. And just go for a Scald while he wants to go out into his Latios. Because I know that I've got a free switch into Jet Jaguar whenever he brings out his Latios, and I can just go ahead and, like, keep wearing down his Pokemon with knockoff to the point where Mega Banettite can go ahead and clean up. Just go for the Sucker Punch at this point, because even if I bring Jet Jaguar in on a Draco Meteor now, he's just going to die because of the burn. Go for a Scald, because if that had burned his Latios, it would have killed it. It is going to, like, survive the burn at this point, but since his Lando T is dead from the Scald, I can go ahead and bring out Punch. This Latios obviously going to die to a Shadow Sneak at this point, and he is going to go and bring out his Raikou. But since Punch is still at full HP, this Shadow Ball is going to do absolutely fucking nothing. Also because, as I said, Raikou, worthless, garbage tier, Shittermon, and can't even manage to do like 2/3 to me with that Shadow Ball. And the Shadow Sneak is going to go ahead and finish it off. And also, this nickname was crowdsourced. Shoutouts to Count Blanc, because I was just going to go with the old standby of Heartless, because how does Mega Banettite not look like the heartlessest looking motherfucking Pokemon on the planet? It looks like it's just straight out of Kingdom Hearts, but this nickname is actually much better, so thanks fam. Shoutouts to Manticarp for using the Gen 4, like, gambler avatar, because those motherfuckers are the bane of so many Nuzlockes, because, like, all they used were, like, Horn Drill Goldines and shit. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that was really tactical, because I was tilted this entire battle just because of all the Nom flashbacks. So I knew that if I let off with Ultima Weapon, I was going to be able to set up spikes on anything, which would have been great because he doesn't have any hazard removal on his team. And he leads off with his Garchomp, which is actually like the best possible thing that he could have led with, because I go ahead and, for me, not for him, because I get to go ahead and Magnet Rise above the Earthquake and get up 2 layers of spikes while the Medicham comes out and is going to go ahead and fake out me. I've seen so many Medichams lately. So many, like, Meta-Sharp, like Medicham Bisharp teams in particular. Like, that's just a really scary offensive core at the moment. I fully para him twice in a row and get up another layer of spikes and a Dazzling Gleam. That was pretty lame, but it doesn't really end up mattering too much. It definitely thought I could survive that high jump kick, and I don't really know why, but I am going to go ahead and bring out Dick Nose. Like, I would have been able to set up rocks on this no matter what, because I would have been able to tank anything, and if he switched a paralyzed Medicham in on, like, spikes and rocks, it would have died to anything on my team anyway. So, Dick Nose is going to go down to the Scald. I just go ahead and let him die, because I don't need him to switch into anything else on Manticarp's team, and just go out into Eddie Murphy. Know that he's going to want to switch out. I really want to burn the Rotom with the Scald, but that's like 3 Scalds in 2 games that haven't resulted in a burn, so it's a Halloween miracle. Go out into Living Dead Girl. Going to take way more from that Volt Switch than I thought she would, and the Tornadus-Therian is just going to go ahead and rock her, and go ahead and bring out Jet Jaguar. I know that the Sucker Punch isn't going to kill the Tornadus-Therian, but I just need to put it into the range where Punch can go ahead and kill it with a Shadow Sneak, which is exactly what is going to happen right now. I don't know if people just don't expect Banettites to run Shadow Sneak. Like, I highly doubt anyone on the ladder knows what, like, a standard Banette moveset is, and I am going to go ahead and land the Will-O-Wisp, but the Lumberry is going to go ahead and make the burn go away. But Punch is absolutely going to be able to soldier through that Earthquake and Destiny Bond the Garchomp, which is fucking spectacular because it was the only Pokemon preventing Eddie Murphy from going fucking medieval on this dude's team with all these secret swords. Don't know what the fuck you think you're doing here, Bisharp. You're just going to go ahead and get obliterated by the secret sword right now. Rotom Wash is going to come out. I was pretty spooked, but oh, Eddie Murphy, my heart can't take it. Can't take that fucking 1% clutch survival from the Volt Switch. I hope all y'all weren't too spooked that I was going to lose this, because I am going to go ahead and take out his Keldeo with a secret sword, and then he's going to go ahead and quit before Rotom Wash can die. So, Mega Banettite is a Pokemon who is way more effective on the ladder than I thought it was going to be. It's still a stupid Pokemon for dumb people, but when it works, it's really funny, and I really like the underdog Mega evolutions. But I guess the real MVP of that battle was Eddie Murphy, so I I don't know. I guess horses are pretty spooky too. Like they're pretty ripped. I'm pretty scared of horses. IMO, and also, you know, Keldeo, just history's greatest monster, of course. So I guess I might as well go ahead and say this, like, just go ahead and put this on the record on a YouTube video, because it's probably more likely to actually motivate me to, like, follow through with it, but I am going to try to upload daily from here on out. I said that on my Twitter, like, a week ago. In my defense, I did say next week. I didn't say, like, next Monday, so I did technically fulfill this, so you can go ahead and get off my back, Dad.